Good morning. Today is the 15th of February 2024 and I'm going to go through my pre-market plan for today. As always, before we start, we'll take a quick look at the news. We had retail sales come in at 8:30 and we saw a bit of movement from that. Big push up and it's given it all back. So other news today, we got 9:15 before market opens, industrial production 2 out of 3, and then 10 we've got another 2 out of 3 business inventories, and then that's it really. And then we've got a Fed speaking at the end of today, or no, 1:15 today. So time, just take a note of these times. Okay, so levels for today. On my screen we are looking now at the 1 hour time frame for the ES or the MES index, S&P 500 index futures. Don't need that anchored view up now. The only short I can see is probably up here in this region, and that will be around 50.40 to 50.37, kind of around that area. So I'll be watching for a potential short coming into that zone. And if it grinds up slowly, I'll only be looking for the confirmation. If it grinds up, I'll be looking for a break, or at least some sort of long entry to continue the trend up. We got a possible target of this trend line going up, the blue line, and also got all-time highs as a target. But one to keep an eye on. I may consider a break and retest of the pre-market high as well. In fact, I am considering that. And we had a data drop that comes into the pre-market high, so be a bit wary because it may just come up for a rejection. So kind of watching both for a rejection or a break and retest. So I'll watch what the market's doing and try and catch it based on whatever confirmation it gives. As for bounces, if it comes back down to 5,000, it'll be trailing this 200 moving average rail, kind of coming into that same area. I'll be looking for a potential bounce, and if we get below 5,000, I'm going to be watching 49.75, this area here, 49.90 for a potential bounce as well. So let's get rid of that. I'm not sure what I did. So we're watching a few levels, similar levels we've already had. We had this level yesterday. We're watching this level yesterday. Look how it came up, tested it, broke through. We haven't yet come down to retest that 5,000 level, and 5,000 is a big psychological number as well. I think that's it really. If we are kind of this 520 level, which we've had in place for some time. Funny how yesterday we came down. Where was it yesterday? We came up right at 4 p.m. and we closed. It actually closed at that level 4 p.m. So it's a significant level, and we were watching out for a potential reject, and that was on top of the CPI from Tuesday. And so we're kind of now broken up, and we're now back down testing that level. So I may consider a high risk bounce when the market opens, and to continue the trend up. But that'd be a high risk, and that'll be based on the 5-minute chart. Can you see yesterday's close, this line here, exactly 520, that yellow line we've got, and broke through it in the pre-market, and we've just come back and retested it right now. So hopefully we can make something of these levels. I'm going to get rid of these fibs levels. Oh no, I'll keep them in place because it's still working out. So this is a Tuesday data drop, this candle here, and let's make it a bit closer. And we got the fibs drawn between here and there, and that's the 50% mark here. And you can see it's kind of come up to the 50% mark, rejected, broke through, came up to the top of the fibs, rejected, and the bottom of the fibs we kind of bounced there originally, bounced again, broke through, came to one of our levels, bounced again from the bottom of that fibs level. So it's quite significant. That's why I like drawing them in and just leaving them for a couple of days as well, because they do come into play. And you can look at that, this inverse head and shoulders kind of bounce off of that lower fibs line And I draw the fibs lines on the 5-minute chart, and I'd like to leave it a few days before I get rid of it. It's still in play at the moment until we break further above or below that, so I'll keep that there just as a guide. And the reason I leave it there is because, you know, algos were playing these areas before. Oh, sorry, this area here. Algos were probably playing that area, and algos are probably playing that area. And so you want to see where the algos could potentially be, and that's why I leave it in place. And you can see coming to the top of the fibs for the first time, rejected, come back in, rejected. So it's still pretty relevant. Okay, that's it for the MES. Just to recap the levels again, still kind of watching for an uptrend. I want to take a high risk bounce around 50.20, and if we pull back down into the 5,000 area, then I'll be looking for a bounce. 5,005 is the fibs level, as you can see, so this area here for a bounce. If we do see big sell off, then I'm watching potential bounce at 49.75. That's it really. As for rejections, the only place I can see a rejection is up here. It's an area of supply, and that is at 50.37 through to 50.40 area. This area here on the hourly, it looks a bit like that. So this kind of right hand shoulder, I'm watching for a rejection. Technically it's a supply zone, so let's draw it in. So what I do is I take the change of colour candle and the previous candle, and I use the bottom to the top of that candle. I don't use the wick, so we probably don't need that line there now. I've got my alert in place, so if it gets up into that area, then I know to keep an eye out, and I'll be looking for a rejection around there. But again, with confirmation, and the bounce might be good. We've got a big indecision candle on that data, on that 8:30 data drop, and potentially we're watching a bit of this, a bit of a bear flag. So we could look for the breakout. So I'm going to try and look for a trend entry, a pullback into that area for a long, or a break of that candle, that hourly candle long as well. And that's it. So let's look at SPY. Very similar levels, but not quite as defined as MES. So similar levels we had yesterday. 500 psychological number, happens to be area of confluence, tops and bottoms, bottoms of candles, tops of candles. So it was the floor, has now become the ceiling. So we can watch this area for a break through the pre-market high, and then a retest of this area for the long. Got all-time highs 500 and 350 as a potential target, or a rejection area. That's the only place I can see a rejection. And we've got it from 502.73 up to 503.50, and then bounces a bit like the ES, kind of watching 498.70 for a bounce. That's a bit of area of confluence there. And then if we come back down, kind of watching this entire area here for a bounce, and that is yesterday's low, area of demand, and obviously got the rise in 200 moving average. Qs, not looked at Nasdaq or Qs today. Kind of that area there, which we've already rejected it. So if we break through, break and retest a pre-market high, and we've got this area here for rejection, 438 to 439 reject, and then bounces down in this supply zone, this demand zone, and this demand zone. So they're the two areas. So watching 430 for a bounce, 429 and 426 to 428. Let's look at Nasdaq next. So the daily, let's go to the hourly. So we pull back, we've got this kind of, you could call it a bear flag. If we can hold this trend line up, Then we can watch for a bounce. Break and retest of pre-market high. Possible target. So the pre-market high level is 17,936. First target can be, there's not much room above, so I wouldn't like to go long really, but that's kind of a rejection area. 17,490, through to 17,490, kind of a higher risk rejection or a break and retest of that area. And we've got this trend line and this all-time high at 18,000. Obviously 18,000 psychological number, so you could watch that as a potential rejection area, especially if we're now coming down, pulling back, retest that area and then push down. Oil still doing what it's doing. Couldn't take out that pivot yesterday. It's either going to put in a higher high. It's got to break this pivot and come back and retest. That's kind of what we're watching for. 78 retest. And that's on the daily, so it'll be different on the hourly. But we've put in this trend, or if we pull back, we can watch for a bounce down at 74 area. Let's look at it on the hour. In fact, let's go back to the daily and put that trend line in. Look at that. Absolute spot on. Pulled right back to the area. You know people are watching this trend line. Back to the hourly. So basically, if we come back down into this trend line there, we can watch for a bounce around the 72 to 73 area. Or if we break through this area, we can either watch for a break and retest to continue the hourly trend up. But still quite a long way away. Just looking at something more local. I kind of like the bounce there, it's already happened. Yeah, there's not much really. I think we need to wait for it to get to this trend line area or over this area. So not really in play for me today. Gold. Look at that, it's retesting this area now. So we break through this pivot. It's come back in to retest it. We can look for a potential short now with confirmation. Maybe if it comes back up to this 200 moving average, which is starting to slowly curve around. Potentially we could be seeing the beginning of it. So this is this purple line. So we can watch for a rejection in this zone 2014 through to 2022 for a rejection with confirmation. Other than that, we've only got the 1978 for a bounce down at this level. Okay, now for the Russell 2000, which is the M2K. All-time highs, that big top in tail. We could watch for break of this structure, kind of break, come back up, retest, short, and that'll be below the pre-market. Is that the pre-market low? 2027. We've got yesterday's high and our pre-market low in the same place actually. So that could be a first target and a potential bounce point. Consolidated there. Let's just add another. I'm going to put that level in there, 2022, because not only was it yesterday's high and the pre-market low today, it's also an area of confluence. Tops of candles, bottoms of candles there. Tops of candles, bottoms of candles. And we can watch for a bounce. We come back down to 2022. I'm not sure, where did I move that one from? I think I prefer that. And we've got area confluence around this place here as well. Yesterday's low. Funny as yesterday's low is that area confluence. I'm looking at bottoms, tops, and it pulled back to that area. So watch out for a bounce as well. And rejection wise, Let's draw in a supply zone. So we're kind of watching this area 2050 for rejection, and that's an area supply. And we've got our area demand down here, big area demand, so I won't draw it in yet. That's it really for that one. Dow Jones, I don't know if you can see this, looks pretty obvious. It just happens to have the point of control in that area, high volume, no price point. Bottoms of candles here, tops of candles, so what was the ceiling became the floor, and now it's becoming the ceiling. So pre-market high up to 38,630 area, 650 for a rejection, and we've got this downtrend putting in a bit of an uptrend, and then if we break that, we can watch for the move down. Otherwise, if it gets over the 200 and this volume and this point of control, the VPOC, then we can look for a break and retest long to continue this rather small hourly trend up. But overall, it's in a daily uptrend. Let's just confirm that. Look at that, very strong. While it's above the 50, so it came back, didn't get to the 50 there. Didn't get to the 50 there, so we could just see it continue it up. SPX 5,000 is the key level again today. We closed around 5,000 yesterday, so we've gapped up, we'll be gapping up a bit. So if we pull back down to 5,000, we can look for a bounce. So that's the bounce area here. And again, the area confidence, tops of candles there, significantly there and there. Pull back to area, kind of retested that area there, and then what we're looking for is a bounce at 5,000. If we get up to the highs again, 50.48, then we can watch for a potential rejection, and then we've got some more bounce areas. We've got this area of demand down here around 49.29. And watch for a bounce at that point. Area of confidence as well. We've got tops of candles here, bottoms, and then kind of tested it again there. And that's it really. I'll quickly look at Bitcoin. Wow, look at that, still strong, really strong. Broken the 50,000 mark. It's 50,000, so it's gone through that. So if we do pull back, we can watch it for a little add, maybe at 50,000. Top of this pivot here, and see it on the it's a daily. Yeah, again, I think I said yesterday I put my levels in and it always gone the next day. I'm going to look at my video, I'm sure I did it. I'm starting to feel a little bit like I'm going mad. Levels are in, save, daily. Strange. We've got this level here as well. That's it really. Let's look at the MES, see if anything's happened. Oh look, that's coming and bounced at the area we were talking about. Well, it's just about to bounce. Look at the 5. Here we go. Don't really want to take it in the pre-market. I really want to see it bounce when the market opens down at 50.20. So I keep an eye on that area. Bottom tail, bottom tail, bottom tail, bottom tail, bottom tail, bottom tail. Volume is kind of steady, nothing exciting. An area to watch. And on the order flow, there's a higher than usual. Go back. We've got a bit of absorption going on here by the looks of it, especially at 9:15. Oh, there's news at 9:15, I think, if I remember rightly. Industrial production, so maybe that was what it was there. But it looks like it wants to push up. Maybe we missed our. Well, we'll keep an eye. So let's just go on to my left screen so you can see what I'm looking at. So I'm looking at this area here. You can see got those two yellow bars are showing me So that yellow bar there, that yellow bar there, are showing me the highest volume. And also what I'm looking at is these numbers, the higher than normal for pre-market, and that either can act, especially on this side, can act as limit orders. So someone's triggering some limit orders just there and there, most likely, because they wouldn't be going, if they're aggressive selling, we would see some follow through, and anyone who's good at trading won't want to be buying or selling stock at the end of a trend or end of a move down. They'll be waiting for it to pull back up, and then they will resell to get the price they want. So keep an eye on, that's what I'll be watching on the open as well. If it comes back in, I'll be watching for these higher volume nodes at the end of a trend at the levels we've just talked about. Okay, that's it. Thank you for watching, and if you like the video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and get notified when I do my next one. I will be back with my trade recap later, and then back to my live at 9 AM Eastern time, which here in the UK is at 2 PM. Okay, thank you for watching.